Hello again. Alright, it's been a while since I did a video on the mainline Otaku Bandito Reviews series. Yeah. So I wanted to do one. And of course, I wanted to take a look at the NES Mini Classic. Yeah, this is one of the two mini consoles that Nintendo has made. Seriously, Nintendo, you should really get on making an N64 Mini Classic already. Where's my N64 Mini Classic with a Super Mario 64 and a Blast Core? Alright, so this as you can tell, is a very small replica of the NES, the original NES. There's also a Famicom variant and a Shonen Jump variant, which is really rare. They've only made 1,000 of them. If you want to know more info about it, go check out the gaming historian's video on the rarest Nintendo products. He has some interesting points. Yeah, it's a pretty small console and it's actually got a good selection of games. Yeah, it replicates the power and reset buttons pretty well. See, look. It has a controller port. Yeah, it's the same controller port as the Wii. Which means you could probably hook up a classic controller if you wanted to. Yeah, and there's the DCN. Yeah, it's mini USB. Well, micro USB. Yeah, this is a time when a USB-C wasn't that common. Yeah, HDMI. Yeah, it's got the bare minimum, and of course, no expansion port on the bottom. And they don't even replicate it. Yeah, I'll bring out the full-size Nintendo console for comparison. Cut. Alright, so I brought it out. See, look, this older console has an expansion port on the bottom. It's hard to get off. But yeah, it's there. Even though it's not really used for anything. They were planning on making a disc system for it, but, well, in North America they were planning on making a disc system for it, but it never came into fruition because of higher capacity cartridges as Capcom started making those, and pretty much the whole thing became obsolete and redundant. It's meant to bring costs down and to store more capacity in the games, but it's kind of made pointless and obsolete thanks to those higher capacity cartridges that Capcom made. And also absent is the two AV ports. Yeah, I say two AV ports because this only has the red and yellow. Most of them have a yellow and white. Most mono audio video systems are yellow and white, but this one is red and yellow. Yeah, it's kind of unusual. Also has RF outs and channel switchers on the back. So yeah, that's a comparison of the Mini Classic to the full-size console. Oh, and by the way, also has the door opening. Yeah, it's got the same power and reset. So yeah, it does it pretty well. It does leave out some things like the AV port and a the channel switcher, but it's still a pretty good replica. Although you cannot open the door and put in a fake cartridge to replicate the feel. So yeah, the door is kind of molded to the plastic case. That would have been cool, but you can't always get what you want. And as a mini console, it does succeed in replicating it one-to-one. So yeah, we're going to take a look at what games it has to offer and do a quick demo. Cut! Yeah, there's the menu itself. I also forgot to mention that, look how long this controller is. This controller is short. See, look. And the power supply and the AV, well, I mean HDMI cables, are both longer than the controller itself. Yeah, this thing doesn't have AV, it's HDMI. So yeah, there's the menu itself, and if you leave it idle, you'll see a Mario. Or Mario, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah. There's the games. It's got Super Mario Bros. 3, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Excitebike, Final Fantasy, the first game, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden. It's not Gaiden, it's Gaiden. You want to know how to pronounce it correctly? Watch The Wizard. Punch-Out. Yeah, it's the newer version. I have the older version, featuring Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mr. Dream's just some generic character that's meant to replace Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's the real deal. Star Tropics, Super Mario Bros. 2, which is basically a reskin of Doki Doki Panic. A Japanese exclusive game. It's not the real Mario 2. Because the real Mario 2 is well, basically a harder original Mario game. Yeah, Legend of Zelda. Of course you have to have that. Zelda 2, which is vastly different from the original, considering that it's a side-scroller as opposed to it being a top-down adventure game. Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble. Yeah, it does have it. Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, Ice Climber, Mario Brothers, the original game, Super C, Tecmo Bowl, Donkey Kong Jr., Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, and that's the whole lot. Yeah, it doesn't have the original Contra game, but it does have Super C. Yeah, let's test that with Mario Brothers, the obvious choice. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers has the original arcade Mario Brothers as well, before this game came into existence. Alright, let's go. Yeah, it works as expected. Let's see if I can get past the first level. I always can get past the first level. Oops. Oh wait, that's the wrong pipe. One of the pipes is a shortcut. Let's see if I can remember which one it is. Is it that one? No. It's that one. Alright. Yeah, and we made it. Yeah, made it past the first level. Anyone can do it. It does emulate it pretty well, and here's another feature it has. If you press start. Wait. Does it start? Well, oops. Yeah, like, has a cool feature. Yeah, if you press down on the D-pad, it has a suspend points, or as we like to call them, save states. Yeah, so you can save your progress in the middle of the game, which is kind of cool. And I do like that they do this. Alright, so let's test that with another Mario game. The hardest of them all. Super Mario Bros. 3. But the best of the series, though. At least on the original 8-bit Nintendo consoles. Yeah. This game, you have to be lucky enough to beat. It was also said by, well, it's established by the Angry Video Game Nerd that it is the only game in the series that is cursed by the devil. Well, he did establish that only because they wanted to have the cartridge become possessed by Satan. Yeah, it would be crazy if this console is possessed by Satan. Yeah, I've beaten the first level several times. So yeah, it does it well. Let's try it Super C. I used to play this game on the Wii Virtual Console. I don't have a physical copy of it. Because physical copies of Contra are expensive, despite the fact that they're not rare games. A lot of kids in the 80s have them. Pretty much any NES fanboy has them. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you can see that Contra is not going to be a walk in the park. Especially with the sequel Super C. It's no different. It's also pretty hard. Yeah. There's a lot of soldiers coming by. Yeah, let's see. That's me trying to place Super Contra for the first time. Yeah, boy. Always watch your back when you're playing Contra. You never know what's gonna strike. Yeah, and here's another interesting fact. In Europe, this game is along with its sequel, are a part of the Protector series, as in Germany, well, in Germany, there's a law against having games where you shoot people because, well, the Germans, they've been in World War II and they experienced war themselves, and yeah, it's pretty sad. I'm not going to go into full detail right here, but it's pretty sad. So they changed them to robots so that they wouldn't be terrified of the horrors of war. So yeah, that's a demonstration of the NES Mini Classic, and interestingly enough, they have Tecmo Bowl on there. Yeah, football game. Even though we Canadians prefer Blades of Steel. Yeah, it's basically a football game. Yeah, it's one of the earliest examples of football games. Oh man. Yeah, let's say a reset. So yeah, that's a demonstration of the NES Mini Classic. It's got a good selection of games, although for some reason it has Tecmo Bowl on there. Maybe it's because Americans like football, but you could have used the space for another game, but still, it's pretty good. So yeah, we'll end it here. So, in conclusion, the NES Mini Classic is actually a nearly perfect replica of the real thing. Yeah, some details are omitted, like the AV port, which back then was rarely used since barely anyone had TVs with AV ports back then, and nobody cared about, say, HD quality back then. Well, at least a few people cared about HD video quality back then. And the expansion ports on the bottom are also omitted, as well as the RF port and the channel switcher. But I can kind of understand the back ports, considering that it's a modern console with modern features. So yeah, it's a pretty good replica, although back then, if you were to get one, it was nearly impossible, considering that they were always sold out of them. Yeah, this thing was hard to get, even as a Christmas present back then. And the same goes for the SNES Mini Classic as well, because this thing couldn't even stay on store shelves as long as the Szechuan sauce stayed at McDonald's when it came back, and that upset a lot of Rick and Morty fans. Seriously, Rick and Morty fans, they got upset over the Szechuan sauce. One of them asked for Szechuan sauce, and of course he freaked out, and it became a popular internet meme. And yeah, it's just an example of how immature these fanboys can become, and even the creator of Rick and Morty hates his own fandom because of how toxic the fans have become. So yeah. Not only has Rick and Morty become more cringe, but it's also created a whole new level of fans that not even the Loud House fandom would try to replicate. So yeah, Rick and Morty fans are toxic. But we're not here to talk about Rick and Morty fans. Not even the creator gives a crap about his fandom. We're here to talk about the NES Mini Classic. Yeah, it couldn't stay on store shelves like the Nintendo Switch, and there was a high demand of them. But it was worth it. If you are to get a console that's saved up on a shelf space, or if you just want to bring a console if you like, if it's going to be an apocalyptic disaster and you're only allowed to bring one game because you don't want it taking up the suitcase and you want to save up on space, then definitely get this console. It's worth it. I give it a 9 out of 10. It is an excellent value for money. It has lots of great classics. And a lot of these games on the NES Mini Classic, just like the SNES Mini Classic, have never been released on a compilation before. Well, aside from the Mario games, but that's because they're Mario. But that's besides the point, though. Yeah, a lot of games you see on the NES and SNES Mini Classic are never re-released on any compilation. Whereas the Sega Genesis Mini Classic has a lot of games that are released on pretty much a lot of compilations, and even the Switch has some Sega Genesis classics. So yeah, nothing too special about the Sega Genesis Mini Classics games, although it's going to have some Sega CD games on the second revision. So we'll stay tuned. But the NES and SNES Mini Classic are pretty good consoles and have a lot of great games that have never been re-released on any compilations aside from the Mario games. So yeah, if you want a mini console, definitely get this or the SNES Mini Classic. They're some of the greatest mini consoles out there. And great value for money. So yeah, this concludes our review on the NES Mini Classic. And just like the SNES Mini Classic, it succeeds on delivering the greatest classics in one of the greatest compilations ever that you will never ever see in any way, shape, or form on any compilation. And that's why they succeed in being unique. So yeah, see you guys next time.